Good morning, children. Welcome back to mathematics class. Hope you all are fine and safe and staying very well at your home. Hope you all are taking a great care of yourself. Fine, children. Let us start today's lecture. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 4, quadratic equations, lecture number 2, and the content I am going to cover from NCERT. Children, in previous lecture number 1, I made you understand the concept of quadratic equation, how to calculate the roots using factorization method, and to check whether the given equations are quadratic or not. Fine, children? Now in today's lecture, the topics which I am going to cover, they are number 1, derivation of quadratic formula using completing the perfect square method. Number 2, calculating roots of quadratic equation using completing the perfect square method. And of course, number 3, finding roots using quadratic formula. Children, I am going to take some questions from exercise 4.3 to make you better understand these concepts. Clear, children? So let us start today's the very first topic, that is derivation of quadratic formula. To derive the formula, which is a quadratic formula actually to solve quadratic equation, there are basically 3 steps which you have to keep in your mind. Children, using those 3 steps, we can solve as many questions as you want. Fine? Okay, now let us start. The very first step is that you must be knowing about the generalized form of a quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation's generalized form is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Correct, children? Now the very first step is that you have to make numerical coefficient of x square as 1. How can I make it as 1? Definitely I will have to divide the complete equation by a. Correct? So make the numerical coefficient 1 of x square by dividing throughout by a. So children, after dividing it by a, definitely I will get ax square upon a plus b upon ax plus c upon a is equal to 0 upon a. Fine. That a and a will be cancelled. So ultimately what I am going to get? I have got x square plus b upon ax plus c upon a is equal to 0. This is the very first step to derive the quadratic formula. Basically, I am going to adopt all the steps of completing the perfect square method. Using that method, I am going to derive quadratic formula. Fine. So, the very first step is that make the numerical coefficient of x square as 1. Correct, children? Now, step number 2. Take a constant value on right hand side. Children, you know very well what is constant over here. That is c upon a. So x square plus b upon ax is equal to minus c upon a. Correct, children? Now the third step is that you have to add the square of half of the numerical coefficient of x on both the side. Because here we are dealing with the equation, definitely whatever changes we are going to do on left hand side, those very changes must be done on right hand side also. After all, it is the concept of equality. Equal to sign is present there in equation, that you know very well, children, right? So what is the third step? This is most important step. That first of all, you have to make the half to what? To the numerical coefficient of x. And then you have to make its whole square and you have to add it on both the sides. See, children, what was the numerical coefficient of x in step number 2? This was numerical coefficient, that is b upon a. Correct? Now, if I am going to make the half of b upon a, that would become b upon 2a. Correct? And I am going to add its perfect square, or I should say that its whole square on both the sides. So it would become x square plus b upon ax plus b upon 2a whole square is equal to, on right hand side we had only minus c upon a plus b upon 2a whole square will be added. Correct, children? Please be focused here. Hasn't it become a perfect square of x plus b upon 2a? Look, check. This is a square, that is x square, plus b square means b upon 2a whole square, plus 2 into a into b, 2 into a into b. This 2 and 2 are going to be cancelled. So what I have got, children? I have got b upon 2a only. B upon a only. Correct, children? With x. So after opening the identity a plus b whole square, I am going to get this complete all the three terms once again. Look. Check again. This is a square plus b square plus 2 into a into b. 2 and 2 are going to be cancelled. So I have got b upon a into x. Correct, children? Okay. Now reach on right hand side. This is minus c upon a plus, just open this whole square, it would become b square upon 4a square. Correct, children? Here I have got complete whole square on left hand side of this particular identity. Correct? Now after taking LCM on right hand side, I have got 4a square as LCM. So after taking LCM, it would become minus 4ac plus b square. Correct, children? Okay, now as it is a whole square present over here, when you are going to remove this whole square, definitely on right hand side, it would become whole under root with a plus minus sign. Why plus minus? Because this is forming a quadratic equation. And you know that in quadratic equation, there are two roots existing. One with positive sign and another with negative sign. Correct? For example, if I have written here x square is equal to 4. So what would be the value of x, children? Definitely it will be plus minus root 4. That is plus minus 2. The same concept, children, I have applied over here. Clear, children? Now I am going to segregate this whole under root to both numerator as well as denominator. So in numerator I will get plus minus root b square minus 4ac, and here in denominator I am going to get 2a because this is perfect square. So it would come 2a. Correct? Now this value which is with plus sign b upon 2a, I am going to take it on right hand side. It would become minus b upon 2a with plus minus and a whole under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Correct, children? Now I am going to take 2a as LCM. You will get minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac. Correct, children? So using the perfect square method, basically I am going to make the perfect square on left hand side. Correct? After that, what did we do? So children, after going to adopt this method of completing the perfect square, I have just got the quadratic formula. This is quadratic formula. And what is this? X. Of course, we are going to find out the values of x only using quadratic formula. So x is equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. For extra knowledge, children, you must be knowing that this b square minus 4ac is known as discriminant. This you will be learning in lecture number 4. Correct, children? So basically this completing the perfect square method has helped us to derive quadratic formula. Basically both are interlinked to each other. Correct, children? Fine. Now children, after learning the derivation of the quadratic formula using completing the perfect square method, I am going to switch to the next topic of today's lecture, that is calculating roots of quadratic equation using completing the perfect square method only. For that, definitely I have taken the questions from exercise 4.3. Question number 1. Find the roots of quadratic equation. What you have to do? You have to find the solution of the quadratic equation by the method of completing the perfect square method. If the roots exists, fine. If the roots exist, okay. So I am going to take question number 1, second part. The given quadratic equation is 2x square plus x minus 4. Children, which method you have to adopt? You have to adopt completing the perfect square method. So the same steps which we adopted to derive quadratic formula using completing the perfect square method, I am going to adopt the same step to solve this question. So children, let us recall what was the very first step? To make the numerical coefficient of x square as 1. So here it is 2 present. Definitely I will have to divide the complete equation by 2. After dividing, I have got x square. This would become x square plus 1 upon 2x minus 4 upon 2, that would give you 2, is equal to 0 upon 2, that is 0. Correct. Now the next step was that you have to take the constant value on right hand side. What is constant present over here? That is minus 2. So it would become x square plus 1 upon 2x is equal to 2. Correct, children? Now, what was the third step? That you have to make the numerical coefficient of x half, and then you have to take its whole square and you have to add that whole square on both the sides. Fine, children. So let us make this half. We have to now half to this half actually. Fine. Don't be confused. This is half. What is this? This is numerical coefficient of x. Make its half. So what is to be done? What is half of half? That would be 1 upon 4. So 1 upon 4 whole square will be added on both the side, on left hand side as well as on right hand side. See, for your convenience I have written it over here. X square plus 1 upon 2x plus. Make this numerical coefficient as half. This is actually half already. So after making it half, it would become 1 upon 4. Add 1 upon 4 whole square on both the side. It would become 1 upon 16. Here also 1 upon 4 whole square is added on right hand side as well. Correct? So children, just check it. Hasn't it become a perfect square? Hasn't it become a complete identity? This is a complete perfect square, right? Whose identity it is going to be become now? X plus 1 upon 4 whole square. Fine. So let us check it. This is x square plus 1 upon 4 whole square, that is 1 upon 16, plus 2 into a into b, that is 2 into x into 1 by 4. That would give you 1 by 2x. Correct. Now I am simplifying right hand side. After taking 16 as LCM, I have got 32 plus 1, that is 33 upon 16. Fine. On left hand side, it has become a complete perfect square. Correct. This is x plus 1 upon 4 whole square is equal to 33 upon 16. Now, when this square will be removed, definitely it would become the square root for the term which is written on right hand side along with the plus minus sign as taught in derivation also. So it would become x plus 1 upon 4 is equal to plus minus with whole under root 33 upon 16, and 16 is a perfect square, so definitely it would come out as 4 outside, right? So x is equal to, this is plus minus root 33 upon 4. This 1 upon 4 is with plus sign, will go on right hand side, it would become minus 1 upon 4. Clear, children? Now I am going to take 4 as LCM. So what is the value of x? That is plus minus root 33 minus 1 upon 4. Can I write it like this? Minus 1 first, then plus minus root 33 upon 4. So thus, what are the roots of the given quadratic equation? Number 1, minus 1. First I have taken with the plus sign, plus root 33 upon 4. And another one I have taken with minus sign, that is minus 1 minus root 33 upon 4. Correct, children? Any confusion? No? Okay, fine. Now children, I am going to explain you the same question, but now I am going to adopt which formula? This is quadratic formula. Correct? The derivation you have learnt about the quadratic formula. So what was the formula which we derived? That was x is equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Basically this is question number 2, second part. What is said in question number 2? That you have to find the roots of all the quadratic equation which are given in question number 1. Now you have to apply but quadratic formula instead of completing the perfect square method. So let us check whether I am going to get these very roots only or not. Fine. So formula is with us only. Fine. We can just put the given values in that formula and we can come to know whether we will be getting the same roots or not. So the equation is 2x square plus x minus 4 is equal to 0. This is the same question, children, which I have just explained you. But I explained you using completing the perfect square method. Now I am going to find the root of this particular quadratic equation by quadratic formula. Correct? Okay. So as you know that we have to first of all compare this given quadratic equation by the generalized form. What is generalized form? that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So while comparing this generalized form with this given quadratic equation, I have got a as 2, a is equal to 2, b is equal to 1 and c is equal to minus 4. Correct? Now what is quadratic formula? We have just learnt, children. This is x is equal to minus b plus minus whole under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Correct? Now at place of b, what I have to put? 1. This is minus 1 plus minus. What is b square? Means 1 square. It would be 1 only. Minus 4 into what is a? A is 2 into what is c? C is minus 4 upon 2 into a. What is a? A is 2. Correct, children? Now after substituting or after putting the values in this very formula, what you have to do? You have to just simplify it. Let us simplify this value which is written in whole under root. It would become 1 minus 4 into 2 into minus 4. It would become 1. This is minus into minus will become plus. 4 2s are 8 and 8 4s are 32. So 32 plus 1 will become 33. Fine, children? So what I have got after simplifying it, I have got minus 1 plus minus whole under root. This is 1 plus 32 upon 4. So this is minus 1 upon minus 1 plus minus whole under root 33 upon 4. Correct, children? So what are basically the two roots which we have got? Haven't we got the same root which we got while adopting completing the perfect square method and which we have now adopted quadratic formula? Fine. So the roots are minus 1 plus root 33 upon 4 and minus 1 minus root 33 upon 4. Correct, children? Okay. Now let us switch to next question. Next is question number 1, fourth part. Find the roots of the quadratic equation if they exist by completing the perfect square method. One more question I am going to take, children. Now please be alert. This is 2x square plus x plus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, let us recall the steps first of all. Make the numerical coefficient of x square as 1. But what is present over here? This is 2. So definitely I have to divide this complete equation by 2. So I will get x square plus 1 by 2x plus 4 upon 2, that would give you 2 is equal to 0 upon 2, that is 0 only. Okay. Now we have to take the constant term on right hand side. It would become x square plus 1 by 2x is equal to minus 2. Here I have written that I have applied step number 2. Correct, children? Okay. Now what we have to do again, you will be having the numerical coefficient of x given, make its half. What is half of half? That would be 1 upon 4. Take its whole square, add on both the sides. Correct? Okay. Now this complete is nothing but identity of a plus b whole square. Look, this is x plus 1 upon 4 whole square. Check it. This is a square, that is x square, plus b square, that is 1 upon 4 whole square, means 1 upon 16, plus 2 into a into b, that is 2 into x into 1 by 4. That would become x by 2. Haven't I got the same? Yes. So this is a complete perfect square. Now reach on right hand side. I have got minus 2 upon 1 plus 1 upon 16. While taking 16 as LCM, I have got minus 32 plus 1. That would give you minus 31 upon 16. And of course here on left hand side it would remain in the whole square term only. Correct, children? Now children, this expression can never ever be possible. Why? Because we know that the square of any of the real number, that can never be negative. Fine. So definitely the roots are not going to be exist in this case. Okay, let us check it. So children, which is not possible. Why? Because the square of a real number can never be negative. So the roots of the given equation do not exist. Clear, children? Okay. So that's it for the day. Okay, let us summarize today's lecture quickly. What we have learned, children? Today we have learnt the derivation of the quadratic formula. Which method did we adopt? We adopted completing the perfect square. Fine. After that, we calculated the roots using completing the perfect square method as well as quadratic formula. Fine. Now children, we are aware about three methods to find out the roots of the quadratic equation. Number 1, factorization method. Number 2, completing the perfect square method. And number 3, quadratic formula. Correct children? So that's it. You please note down your mathematics homework. Your maths homework is, you have to do question number 1, C and E part of exercise 4.1. Question number 1, A and B part. Question number 2 of exercise 4.2. And question number 1, AC part of exercise 4.3 in your homework notebook along with classwork questions which I have taught you today in lecture number 2. Fine children, that's it for the day. Thank you and have a nice day.